The world has changed so much. I think nobody would have imagined 3 years ago where we would be right now. So not only the pandemic, but we have war going on, a war that, as Roberto was saying, is going to impact all of us tremendously. It's going to get worse. We have big challenges coming in terms of macroeconomics as well. So we want to hear a little bit about what's your perspective for North America, taking into account everything that has changed in the world.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Enrique and all of his team for the organization of this incredible experience. I think that COVID and the invasion of Ukraine showed to the world and to North America and particularly to Mexico the importance of the bilateral relationship we have with the United States and the trilateral relationship also with Canada. When the pandemic started, there was a huge economic problem in the supply chain, and then we realized as economists that there was a need to start exempting from the imports of many goods and call them essential goods in order to continue the import of those goods and the exports to the rest of North America. Now everybody is aware of the need to have nearshoring, but I think that also what was a very important experience was that the border of Mexico and the USA is not a line. It's not a line. You don't see the border when you're in the border. It's a community. It's 35 million people living together in sharing their territory, their economies, many of them being family. And so what you have in the border is a dynamic that few people know in Mexico and the United States if they are not close to that. There is 1.5 million crossings in the Mexican and the American border every day. Last time I went to San Diego, I was in San Isidro, and we were looking to all these lines of cars aligned coming into the US. And the agent from CBP told me 90% of those people that are coming in are Americans. And this happens every day in the morning. And they go back to Mexico at night because they live in Mexico. And this is very important because what you see is that this community takes the best out of the two countries. We shared the first night the dinner in the Munal, and I was telling you that when I was in Laredo, I saw thousands of monarch butterflies, and I've seen them in Michoacán, where you don't see the forest, you just see butterflies. You don't see the trees, you see butterflies. But I never thought to see them in Laredo. And so I said, these guys really know what North America is. They come and go every year and take the best out of the three countries. And they have been doing this for centuries. And so I think we have to learn a lot about nature and about these beautiful insects. And what the border does. Because when you speak about the border, what maybe you think it's about conflict, and the border is not that. So when we speak about North America and we want a competitive North America, a united North America, we also have to think about a humanitarian North America with values. And those values are mainly supported on the the biggest of them, which would be inclusion. And all of these things were learned in the pandemic, because when the border was closed, there was real suffering in the region. And people from the border that I see here know about this. The other thing that we learned is that the new geopolitics of the world is inviting regions to really create and own it and dynamic. What I have seen regarding North American discussions is mainly what has been said here. But I think that also we have to see trade as a peace builder. When somebody wants something from other and it trades, it's different when it takes. And when we worked to build up North America, I think that we have to create a narrative about building up peace. Because if we build trade and we build community, we will show the world that this is the way we ought to live. And that the values we share are the values that really are driving our decisions. And I think the world needs an example, needs an icon to really follow. And I believe North America has all the chance in the world to be the leader of the future society. I was reading from William McCaskill a very interesting thought. He said that before us, everyone who is living right now, almost 10 people have lived in the world. That if we take the average of a mammal in the world, the species might have lived about 1 million years. So we have about 70,000 more years to live in the planet. But it all depends on us, because we have built the capacity to destruct everything that we built. So we are really the ancients. We are children that are starting to learn to walk, he says. Because the future is incredible for the human species. If we really take into account that what we do as a generation is the foundation of humankind. We're foundational. And if we look at this idea of North America, with that philosophy, it's not just trade, it's not economy, it's building community, it's building peace. And I think that's what all of us should be looking at when we talk about the North American